Hi students, this is Suchadata teaching economics to class 12 and here I am with the chapter balance of payment. Balance of payment is a very interesting chapter because it talks about the trade that we have in terms of foreign trade and the domestic trade, the foreign currencies, the exchange and so on. Well, in fact, if I talk about the balance of payment, the balance of payment is actually the economic transactions which take place between the domestic arena and with foreign countries, which means all the goods and services produced, transacted, exchanged, bought, sold are in fact in the balance of payment. Whether all this is done in the country itself or it is done with one country with another. Well, the balance of payment has certain salient features and which are, first of all, it is, as I said, a systematic record of all the goods and services within the country and outside the country. The second feature talks about that when we make balance of payment, it is constructed on a double entry booking. That is to say, on the left hand side we have the credit and on the right hand side we have the debit. So, whatever is credited or debited is put in the balance of payment and it is a double entry, as I said. And because it is a double entry, that is why the balance of payment always is in equilibrium, always maintains the equilibrium, that is the balance. Well, if you look at the balance of payment, you will observe that if the receipts, that is what we are going to get, are greater, then we say that we are in surplus. But when the payments are greater than what we have to receive, then we are in deficit. So, the balance of payment in fact tells us about the exact position of the economy, whether it is running in surplus or deficit, depending upon the double entry that we have of both the receipt and the payment, giving us the true picture whether it is greater or it is lesser. Well, when we talk about the balance of payment, we have to remember that the goods and services now are done not only in the country itself, but lots of trade takes place between the countries, which means foreign trade has become an important issue in the balance of payment. That is, lot of transactions which take place between two countries is given a space in the balance of payment. Well, when I talk about the trade, then there are certain items which are visible items and certain items which are invisible items. When I talk of the visible items, all that we can view, all that we can see, for example, the tea, machinery, etc. are the visible items. But certain items are invisible, but they are involved in the entire process. That is, they are involved in the export or import, that is the trade, and are a part of the balance of payment are invisible items. Invisible items are those which we cannot see directly, and those are like shipping, banking, tourism. Of course, unless there is no shipping or banking or tourism, we cannot talk of the import and export, we cannot talk of the foreign exchange, we cannot talk of the transactions taking place between countries, we cannot even talk of transactions of goods and services taking place even within the country. Therefore, these visible and invisible items have their own place in the balance of payment. But the most striking feature of the balance of payment remains one and one alone, and that is due to its double entry characteristic, it is always in equilibrium.